tuning in to Decision 2018 UI-7 coverage, presented by our election headquarters. I'm Andrea Flores.
And I'm NAVARRO. Ballots are being counted as voters anxiously await the results of the 2018 midterm elections. UI-7 News has your election coverage.
The biggest race on the ballot tonight is who will take the governor's mansion in Springfield for the next 4 years. Early numbers are predicting that Democrat J.B. Pritzker is in the lead. He is facing, these numbers are from early voters and being projected by Fox and NBC. Incumbent Republican Bruce Rauner and Libertarian Cash Jackson and Conservative Sam McCann are also on this ballot. Again, these early poll results are from early voting, predict that J.B. Pritzker is taking this seat, and we will have more on that later.
It's kind of interesting how we have less than 1%, but it's still kind of showing the results.
Definitely, it shows quite a bit of a bias towards Pritzker, so we'll see how that turns out when more precincts report.
We'll see. Illinois Attorney General nominees include Republican Erica Harold, Democratic State Senator Kwame Raoul, and Libertarian Bubba Harshey. Illinois Secretary of State, Treasurer, and Comptroller positions are also running races. And we have Roger right here, our expert on the Champaign County races, to give us the breakdown.
Yeah, so as you touched on, Illinois Attorney General Erica Harold, she's from Urbana, so that's kind of get the local feel, get that. So she might get some voters out if the polls turn her way. And just different polls that are coming in as county clerks, as we have two very competitive people as they're out there trying to win this race, and just hopefully it turns out for the best for them.
And they're taking Gordy Holton's role, who's running for county executive.
I know, yeah, he stepped out and now he's trying to take county executive, as he's referenced it as being the mayor of Champaign. So it's a big role, and he looks like he thinks he's very prepared for that role.
Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. And in central Illinois, there's a tightly contested race for Congress as incumbent Rodney Davis faces off against Democratic challenger Betsy Dirksen Landrigan in the 13th district. Addie Iffenson has the breakdown of this 13th congressional district.
Yeah, guys, definitely this is going to be a very important race to keep an eye on, not only this House seat, but the House seats all across the country, because obviously a big majority could change when it comes to the United States House of Representatives. There on your screen you can see the two candidates. We don't have too many numbers, obviously, as you can see, that came in. And what's also important to understand about the 13th district is the district itself when it comes to the map. So in Champaign itself, you're going to have more of a liberal area, but then you can't forget about that southwestern part of the district, which is going to be more conservative. So that's kind of what makes this district unique and interesting to keep an eye on tonight. And as the numbers start to roll in, both the candidates themselves obviously have a variety of issues that they talk about and that they've been campaigning on, but one really big one that they've definitely been hitting a lot on this election season has been healthcare. They both have different ways to approach the healthcare situation. Both have had very personal experiences with the healthcare system in the United States. So it'll be very interesting to see how those elections turn out. And I'll throw it back to you guys back in the studio as we get some more news in on some elections coming up.
Just getting in some breaking news right now. Incumbent Governor Bruce Rauner has now conceded in the governor's race. So we'll have more of that information up for you at our cut-in at 9 p.m. Tonight marks the first time a winner will be announced for county executive in Champaign County. It's a new position in the county and a race many people locally are watching closely. UI-7's Joseph Longo met up with the candidates.
Mr. Holton is my dad.
Local Republican and current Champaign County Clerk Gordy Holton is once again in the middle of a high-profile election. He's been speaking to journalism students at the University of Illinois about how to vote, but this time he isn't up for re-election. Holton is running to be Champaign County's first ever executive.
I've been county clerk for 8 years. In that 8 years, we've used technology to reduce our headcount, reduce our expenses while expanding the services that we provide to Champaign County, and I think that's a useful template for how we're going to try and get things done as county executive.
Local voters approved of the county executive position as a November 2016 election referendum. Holton has been vying for the inaugural seat since August 2017, but he has a competitor in Darlene Klopel. Klopel, a first-time politician, entered the race over a year ago after fellow community members encouraged her to run. She has a background in community government, having spent 15 years as the Community Services Director of the Champaign County Regional Planning Commission.
I've spent my life developing startups of various kinds, and so this will be a startup, so I'm familiar with how that works, and I bring those kind of change management skills. It's always difficult to make a change, and there's always resistance, so trying to make it work well so the county doesn't waste a lot of time on it.
Both candidates are running a 3-point campaign. Clopel's advocating for a new county management plan, county jail reform, and an increase in citizen involvement. Holton is focused on reforming fiscal management and independent redistricting, as well as increasing economic development. The new county executive will take on the responsibilities of the current county administrator, as well as some of the county board chair, C. Pius Weeble. However, Pius isn't convinced at the end of the day that the new position will bring change.
It's not going to be a disaster, I don't think. But again, it's not going to make things that much better, I don't think.
For UI-7 News, I'm Joseph Longo.
Well, we're here with political theory professor Benjamin Miller, and one of the
big things we've seen lately is an increase in voter turnout, both here and nationwide. Now, Professor Miller, what do you think has increased voter turnout in this election?
Yeah, it seems like one of the big influences has been young voters stepping up and voting, or saying they're going to vote more than they have in the past. So in the 2014 midterms, is something like the last data I looked at was about 26% of young folks said they were going to vote. And in this election, about 40% say they're going to vote. So that's a massive difference right there.
That is quite a massive difference.
Yeah.
What do you think of this voter turnout in terms of good news for Democrats or Republicans? What is the deal there?
Yeah, I mean, traditionally the history says that at local, state, and national level, Democrats benefit from greater turnout. Now, the questions about why exactly that happens is a good question, but it seems like if the history books are right, then that trend will continue, and if turnout is high, Democrats will do better.
And on the flip side, if Republicans hold control of Congress, what big items on Trump's agenda could actually happen? For example, repealing Obamacare. What are some actual actions that can be taken?
Yeah, I think you'll see more of the same, basically. You'll see attempts to change healthcare. You'll see attempts to do some more economic deregulation of businesses, things like that. You'll also probably see a kind of attitudinal emboldenment. The idea will be that if the Republicans continue to have the House and the Senate, then that kind of says, oh, we as the country have said that we endorse what's going on currently, and they'll just try to do more of the same.
Looking at the other side of the aisle again, do we know what topics will be leading the legislative agenda if Democrats do take control of the House?
Yeah, I think that's hard, right? If you have just the House, you don't necessarily have a strong legislative agenda that you can push through. You might have all sorts of things you care about, but that doesn't mean you'll be able to do much because you just have one of the chambers and you don't have the presidency. So instead, I think what you'll see is a lot of attempts to sort of stop the things that the Republicans want to put through, which is traditionally what you see when one house holds only one piece of the branch.
Professor Miller, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate being here. Thanks.
Well, we invite you tonight to stay with UI-7 News as we cover races from around Illinois and here in Champaign-Urbana. We have breaking news right now. JB Pritzker is in the lead he is the winner of Illinois Governor. Bruce Rauner has conceded this race. He is thanking his constituency now, live, and we will have more at 9 o'clock to give you those results.
Also, make sure to tune in as the UI-7 News Radio will continue the coverage right here, so make sure to stay tuned. And make sure, because our team of reporters and anchors will bring you the election coverage and reactions from Pritzker's big win right here on campus, so make sure to stay tuned for our 9 p.m. cut-in. Thank you again so much. We'll see you again at 9 o'clock.